very good evening and welcome to our panel of speakers and viewers to our webinar entitled Nano Learning, Biting the Bytes. My name is Nivashini Adekalam and I will be moderating our webinar for today. Before we begin, I would like to give you some gentle reminders. Firstly, this is a pre-recorded webinar. Hence, if you have any questions, viewers can post them in the chat box, and the speakers will answer your questions. Secondly, please fill in the attendance link that will be shared later in the chat box. There are three main objectives of the webinar. Firstly, it is to expose the concept of nano learning to ELT practitioners. Secondly, it is to share knowledge and experience on the application of nano learning in the teaching and learning of English language. Finally, to share the advantages of implementing nano learning in the teaching of English language. Now, allow me to introduce the panel of speakers for the webinar. Firstly, we have Dr. Nidhi Madan, who is currently working as a postgraduate teacher in the Directorate of Education, Delhi, India. Next, we have Cikgu Azman bin Abdul Aziz, who is a senior English language teacher at SMK Tan Sri Osman bin Muhammad Saad, Pontian, Johor. Last but not least, we have with us Cikgu Siti Hajar Akmal binti Muhammad Rabi from SK Cica Tinggi, Pasir Mas, Kelantan. Without further ado, I would like to pose the first question to Dr. Nidhi. Doctor, most of us are familiar with the term nanotechnology. However, the term nano learning is quite new to most of us. Could you please explain to us what is nano learning and what are the characteristics of nano learning are?
Sure. Thank you so much, ma'am. We are just talking about the nano learning, the bytes. That means we are talking about entirely new concept in the education system, and thanks to your university, your department, that they are actually catering to this, because this is one of the best way to teach in the modern world. So we are talking about nano learning, myself Dr. Nidhi Madan, and we are just putting the highlight on the concept of nano learning and what are the basic characteristics of nano learning, and what are the steps one has to follow while framing the topic in terms of nano learning. Next. Then we are talking about we are living in the high-tech world where there is a shortage of time. We don't have that much time to just inculcate our time only on the studies. But as we grow, we have to grow our career also. So we need updated knowledge. We need innovative knowledge. So we have to reform ourselves time to time. Because if we don't do that, our careers will be in the dilemma, will be in the catch-22 situation, and the same thing exists in case of education structure. That means same things, that we have shortage of time, we have to upgrade ourselves, we have to follow new innovative pedagogies, that how to teach these students and to fill the learning gap. So in case of that, we have to think about out of the box, we have to innovate something new and something interesting so that we can cater to the needs of the consumer. We can cater to the needs of the producer, the students. So we are thinking about the new concept, and that new concept is the nano learning. Next. So we know that in the education system, we are in the e-learning trend. We are doing the online sessions. We are teaching the students in the online mode also, in which we have so much disintegrated content. We have so much concept that we have to just think about what to choose and what to avoid, what to take and what not to take. So due to this disintegrated content, there is a less focus of the students as they are in the e-learning. That will lead to the visual fatigue. That means we can't concentrate on the online mode for so much period of time, for a longer period of time. So that will lead to the visual fatigue. So we have to just think about a new concept as how to just solve the problem of short attention span of the students. So we have to think about a new concept, and this new concept is the nano learning. This is the new way of bringing the information, the knowledge, the content, the topic for the students. Next. Now, we are talking about that we have to do something out of the box. We have to do something innovative. We have to do something for the 21st century learners. They are in the e-learning trend. So we have just called about a new concept, that is tailor-made solution. That means the solution which is customized, which cater to the need of a particular learner in case of a particular objective. So that new concept is the nano learning, which will provide you the information in a very short span of time. That will give to the information in a form of congested knowledge, but that knowledge should be in depth. That is very important. So nano learning is the new concept which is receiving mind-boggling, very much responses in the international market, in the international education system. So we are thinking about the nano learning. So from the responses which we have got from the past experiences, that say that nano learning is here to stay. Nano learning is here to stay for a longer time. Now we are talking about the nano learning. What are the basic characteristics of nano learning? The first one, that it's a tailor-made solution, that is customized. That means a nano learning capsule will cater to the need of a particular student for a particular purpose. That means it's a particular in terms of the learner also, and in terms of the objective which a teacher want to fulfill. Then it's a generation next learners. Generation next learners in are learning in terms of e-trend. So this one is for the new generation, the future generations, which always be on the phone, be on the Google. That's why it's a generation next learners. Then we are talking about the didactic program. That means this program will deliver the information in terms of best content in a short span of time with the best delivery. That means nano learning capsule will cater to the needs of a consumer, of the student, and that will lead to the brief knowledge about the concept. It will not take 20, 30, 40 minutes to just complete a concept. That will take only 1 to 15 minutes maximum time to just complete the topic. Then we are talking about the shorter duration. That means we have just consulted, we have just said that the time frame is 1 to 15 minutes. That means we are just taking the attention span of a learner for a shorter period, that is up to 15 minutes. But the ideal time for the learner for the nano learning capsule is 5 minutes. It can extend it up to 15 minutes, but the ideal time is 5 minutes. Then we are talking about when we are making a nano learning capsule, we are taking a particular concept, a particular topic. That means we are not giving all the information in that 15 minutes. We will take one topic, one learning objective, maximum 3 learning objectives at a time to just give that knowledge to the learner. Next. Then we are talking about the next characteristics of the nano learning, never-ending knowledge. That means we are giving the information in a very shorter span of time. That knowledge will given to a learner. The learner will learn in a 5 to 10 minutes, and then we can provide short learning capsules to the learner so that that knowledge will be assimilated in the mind of a learner. Then self-paced. That means you don't have to cope up with the speed of the other learner. That nano learning capsule will cater to your speed. That means if you want to learn a content in a 5 minutes, you can do this one. If the other learner want to learn that concept in a 10 minutes, that person will do that. That means it's according to your pace, your speed will match. Then individualized program. That means it's not catering to the group of the learners. It is a customized solution. That means it's catered to the particular learner. That means we are talking about only one learner. That's why it's an individualized program. Then it's there for assisting the doubts of the learner. That means we are giving the information to the student in terms of a nano learning capsule. But the one thing is also you can provide the information also to the learner, and you can give the clarification about any topic in terms of nano learning capsule. That means you are not explaining one content to the learner. You can also clarify the doubts related to that content in the other nano learning capsule. Then we are taking one objective at a time. That means if you are teaching a learner a topic, you can take one objective at a time, but you can extend up to 3 objectives. That means we have taken that in a short span of time. The time limit for the nano learning capsule is 1 to 15 minutes, but the ideal time is 5 minutes. In case of the objective also, you can take one objective, but that can be extended to 3 objectives also. But the ideal way is to have one objective at a time so that you can make a shorter nano learning capsules in order to give the information to the learner. Then the last one is the multimedia format. That means you can use text, you can use diagrams, you can use slides, you can take PPT presentation, you can do graphics, you can do video. You can use all these formats to just make your nano learning capsule and just to give information to the learner. Next. Then what are the steps you have to take in order to make a nano learning capsule? The first thing we have done, that duration should be 1 to 15 minutes. The ideal is 5 minutes, but you can extend that up to 15 minutes. Then we have talked about the learning objectives also. 3 objectives for one nano learning capsule, but the ideal is 1. But you can extend that up to 3 objectives. Then what are the things you have to keep in your mind while making your nano learning capsule? The first one is to identify the need of your learner. That means you have to just take one step, that is what your learner want. You have to see the need of the learner. So that is the first thing. Then the second point is to choose your content. That means first you have to see what your learner needs, and in order to fulfill that need, you have to choose your content. That is this second thing. Then third, you have to keep it short, because you don't have 25, 30, 40 minutes, 1 hour. You have just 15 minutes. So you have to keep your content short and searchable. That means you have to put some space for this search for the learner also, so that that person can enlarge his or her knowledge. And the last one is to don't do it all yourself. That means you don't have to do everything by yourself. You can have one animated video from the Google, just cut short the voice and add your voice in order to just build up the connectivity of with your learner. So you can take one thing from the Google or YouTube and just add your touch in that, so that your learner will be connected to you. That is the key steps of the nano learning, and that is the basic ideology about what is nano learning, what are the basic characteristics, and what are the steps you have to follow in order to make your nano learning capsule. And just keep in your mind, the duration is less. Due to this COVID time and all that, the attention span of the learners has reduced. So you can use this very innovative ideology, you can say the way, the technique to teach your learner in a very constructive way and will get the maximum learning outcomes. Thank you. Um, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nidhi, for your wonderful sharing. I now have a clearer understanding of nano learning, and I'm sure that our audience also shared the same opinion as me. I mean, you had clearly explained what are the characteristics of nano learning and how we can apply that in our teaching and learning. Now that we have looked at the concept of nano learning, let's find out more about the application of nano learning in the teaching and learning of English language. I would like to invite Cikgu Azman to share his experience on how he began applying nano learning in his classroom.
Hello there. Thank you, Miss Niwasini. Hello everyone. My name is Cikgu Azman. I am from SMK Tan Sri Osman Muhammad Saad, Pontian, Johor. And today, I'm so grateful for having invited to join this webinar entitled Nano Learning, Biting the Bytes webinar by ELTC of Malaysia. So I'm taking this opportunity to share what I have done with my students in my previous school, SMK Datuk Pengawal Barat Pontian. The title of my presentation is Nano Videos and Learning a Second Language, My Experience as an English Teacher. Let's look at the slides. Right. For everyone's information, as a secondary school teacher, I am in charge of teaching English to lower secondary school students as well as upper secondary school students. When I realized that there is an urgent need to prepare my students in the age of the Industrial Revolution 4.0, as an English teacher, I feel responsible to impart as much knowledge and skills as possible to my students in order to equip them with the proper knowledge and skills to utilize the advancements of technology in the age of Industrial Revolution 4.0, very much related to the internet. And naturally, as an English teacher, there is a great opportunity for me to teach and train my students so that they are able to communicate fluently, proficiently, effectively on any online exposure or communication. That's why I took up the opportunity to expose to them as early as possible when they entered Form 1 in the Malaysian secondary school system. That's why I have chosen to do nano videos with them as an initiative to expose them and to lead them into this threshold of online and the internet communication. I chose Instagram as one of the many platforms that I utilize to train and expose my students in online communication as well as in nano videos. So why did I choose Instagram? Number one, Instagram is very popular among secondary school students, or in other words, among teenagers. Because of this popularity, I did expect that my students would enjoy the use of Instagram to expose themselves to a very wide audience that use Instagram almost daily. That is the first reason. Number two, the second reason is that because Instagram is always available my students would be able to use Instagram for self-reviews. When I have uploaded all the videos on my Instagram account, on our Instagram account, my students would be able to review themselves when they watch their videos. It is very important because this has inculcated confidence among my students. The more they look at their videos, the more they know what should be done right or should be done better. That's why I have chosen Instagram, due to this accessibility and a sense of belonging among secondary school students. The third reason was that parents would be able to access to all these nano videos that my students are sharing, or are sharing via our school's account. So basically, those are the three main reasons why I chose nano videos to be uploaded onto the Instagram platform. Right. This is one of the examples. We shall have a look at this video now.
Here's Atin to tell us a little bit
Let's
more.
enjoy the video.
Thank you, Fatin. Hi, my name is Atin Nia. I'm your weather forecast for today. Good morning. Good afternoon to you all. We have seen this morning some mist and fog patch around first thing. As we made our way through the day, this eventually lifted and cleared. The clouds tinted and broke to allow for some brighter weather into the early morning. Some sunny spell at times. Tomorrow we will see continuous temperatures about 10 degrees Celsius at the absolute best. So it will be a quite a mild day again throughout. We then go through the evening and the early hour of Tuesday morning, where there will be more mist, gloom and fog patch developing at the time as well. Temperature falling away overnight to around freezing, if not a touch below to Wednesday as well. Below in a few areas as well. Particularly.
Right, here is another video
To experience
involving a boy.
welcome to the forecast in New York TV channel. I am Shabil, your weather forecaster for today. Now, let's see what the weather is look like today. In New York, we could have a chance to experience the blizzard. The temperature make me afraid. It is around -1 degree Celsius. So, please wear the thick gloves and stay indoor if you did not have an emergency. Also, please take a note to the forecast and follow our advice for your safe. That's
Safety,
all from
for your
me.
safety.
Your safety.
All right. Based on the two videos that we have watched just now, the first video used wallpaper or background looking like the map of the Peninsular Malaysia and the symbols of weather patterns. So the first girl was presenting how the weather was like in Malaysia by referring to the map behind her. So that is one of the facilities that is available on Instagram, which can be utilized to inculcate confidence and a sense of realism to the actual screening of weather reports that we may watch on the typical television channels. Number one. Number two, if you have observed the second video just now, Nabil was reporting the weather in New York by using a filter depicting snowfall. So this is another element that are available on Instagram, which can be utilized in order to make our videos more presentable and interesting for people to watch. All right. Okay, let's look at the slide now. So why short videos? Why short videos is a very important question and deserves a thorough explanation. Short videos are able to perform at least two functions. Number one, to inculcate confidence among our students because of the shortness of the delivery, especially among slow learners. They need this short exposure in the initial stages of their presentation because they need to build their confidence slowly, gradually, and ultimately they would develop and progress to become better presenters. Number one. Number two, the short videos allow students to memorize their scripts because short videos necessitates only short scripts. That's why the students, especially slow learners, would not feel too burdened to memorize short scripts. And this is of critical importance that we should understand why nano videos are important in the learning of the English language as a second language, especially among Malaysian students. Right. You may want to have a look at the slide in front of us or before us. Some of the screenshots we have taken from the account. You look at the multiple screenshots there. If you look at the top right corner, a boy smiling, and you can see the reflection of his image onto a water-like kind of image. That is, he was doing a report on flood situation somewhere in Malaysia. So there is another filter, very useful filter that builds students' confidence, and they felt so what do you call that? So happy when they saw the filter being used for their presentation. And the other one beneath that, you can see a depiction of fire, referring to wildfire in, if I'm not mistaken, in the Australian landscape, if I'm not mistaken, wildfire in Australian landscapes. So the girl was presenting about wildfire. So the filter was very helpful to build their confidence. And the other 2 or 3 screenshots were on, if I'm not mistaken, we call that storms in USA involving all these tornadoes. So the pictures were on devastated housing areas in America. So the backgrounds are simply were simply suitable in order to build their their confidence and enjoyment when doing the nano videos. All right, let's look at the next slide, perhaps. Right, frequent exercises. Frequent exercises by doing short videos, nano videos, greatly increased my students' interest. If you look at their facial expressions in the multiple screenshots on the screen, you can see how happy they were when they were doing all these nano videos. If you look at the various wallpapers, various filters, right? They enjoy looking at themselves later on with those depictions of wallpapers and filters, and this added to the enjoyment of doing these nano videos. And once they have enjoyed it, they want to do even more. And that is the particular, what we call that, impetus that drove my students to do more videos. And that was very important for their motivation and to the overall learning experience. Let's look at the next slide. Accomplishments, greater self-achievement. When you do more videos, short videos, you progress every time you do it. And that allows my students to experience self-achievement and creates a high self-esteem for them. Especially so for my low proficiency students, because low proficiency students, they were not able to practice using the English language at home. Nobody at home use the English language to speak with them. By having this frequent exposure, frequent practice, frequent recordings of nano videos has allowed my students to build their confidence, to increase the number of videos that they make, and this has added to greater self-achievement, especially for my low proficiency students. Let's look at the next one. Varieties. When I was mentioning filters, when I was mentioning the various backgrounds, those are also known as creativity. I mean, those are also referring to creativity in presentation. When there was great creativity during the presentation, my students were so motivated to use as many filters as possible, because they like to discover the various filters and backgrounds available on Instagram. This alone has allowed them, has increased their motivation to do more videos. And when your students wanted to do more videos, that was a success in itself for an English teacher like myself. And for high proficiency students, this would add more reasons for them to do more videos. And as they go along, by using all these filters and all these backgrounds, they would grow in confidence, they would grow in their sense of creativity, not only in terms of linguistic skills, but as well as expressions, as well as using different sentence structures, as well as how to create creative opening lines in order to attract viewers to their videos. And such things were very useful when it comes to building confidence among high proficiency students. Let's look at the next slide. In conclusion, nano videos have a very bright future in learning English as a second language. Number one, it's practical. The shortness of each video has allowed teachers like myself to do more sessions with my students, because it doesn't tax them that much. They do not have to write long scripts. They do not have to face the cameras for too long for a certain topic, right? So you can record them anywhere. If you watch this, if you have watched this the video just now, you would see that the backgrounds not only happening in my classrooms, but as well it took place in other places within the school compound. So it's practical, because with a handphone you can bring your handphones anywhere, and it's practical to have it in the classroom anywhere, anytime, as long as it was happening during the school sessions especially. Number two, the backdrops, the filters are fun. I cannot add more adjectives to the word fun, because the element of fun itself has motivated my students to do a lot of nano videos. The filters, the backgrounds, the fact that everyone can watch them, their parents can watch them, their siblings can watch them, their family members can watch them. This has allowed them to demonstrate their abilities to their parents, to their siblings, to their family members, and because of that, their entire family members, parents, siblings, friends are able to motivate them to do even more creative videos, and in some cases even speak English with them, because their parents, their siblings were motivated after having watched those nano videos. Number three, sustainable. The element of sustainability is very important, because we are teaching English to students. I mean, not only for a day, not only for a month, we are teaching them English throughout their secondary school years, especially in my case. And because of the availability of the internet and Instagram, this has made the experience of presenting in nano videos very sustainable, as they can watch themselves anytime on Instagram. And this can be what we call that as a sort of time capsule for them. When they grow up, they can show this to their children in the future, so that their children in the future would appreciate their parents' journey in learning the language, and it would give their future kids and children the reasons to enjoy English as a language as well. So these three elements, in my opinion, are very important to be understood in producing nano videos, not only for teachers to present or to teach, but also for students to use nano videos to build their confidence, to build their proficiency, and anything related to communicative skills that can be delivered in nano videos. Any more slides after this? All right. I think those are the things that I would like to share, and then I have shared all those things that I wanted to share. So in conclusion, I would recommend nano videos in learning the English language, especially as a second language, because of the various reasons I have already shared just now. So I would like to wish anyone wanting to be involved in nano videos to seriously consider utilizing nano videos in their teaching and learning of the English language.
Wow! Thank you for your insightful sharing, Cikgu Azman. Well, for those of you who wish to apply nano learning in your teaching and learning, you could use the tips shared by Cikgu Azman. Alright, now I would like to welcome Cikgu Haja, who is very popular on TikTok. Cikgu Haja, you have been using nano learning to teach English language for quite some time. Could you share with us what the advantages of using nano learning in teaching English language are?
Thank you, Ms. Niwa. Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar today with the title Nano Learning Biting the Bytes. My name is Siti Haja Akmal binti Muhammad Rawi. You can call me Cikgu Haja. I'm an English teacher teaching in a primary school in Pasir Mas, Kelantan, Malaysia. So for today, I'll be sharing on the advantages of nano learning based on my experience in incorporating it in my lessons. But before that, let us review what nano learning is. Slide, please. Okay, as Dr. Nidhi Madan had shared before, nano learning is a modern concept of learning where the time and content is reduced into short bites, yet deliver the same intended value of the concept. So for today, I'm going to share 7 advantages of nano learning in English lessons. Next slide, please. All right, so I have used TikTok apps to make short English lessons of vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, as well as common phrases used daily in 16 seconds to 2 minutes length of videos. Next slide. So for today, I only will share 7 advantages of nano learning. Let's look at the first one. The first advantage of nano learning is it's highly focused. The information in each videos are highly focused, so it leads to higher comprehension as well as retention of that lesson. You can see what I mean in this video.
So how do you say this word? It's not ori, but it's awry. Awry. If something goes awry, it means that it does not happen in the way that was planned. Or in bahasa Melayu, kacau bilau. Lebih kurang macam kacau bilau. For example, all my plans for the holiday had gone awry. Maksudnya, semua rancangan saya untuk percutian itu sudah menjadi kacau bilau. So this one is awry. Okay?
Okay, as you can see in this video, I only focus on one word, which is AWRY, the pronunciation, awry, the meaning of the word, and how to use it. Next, the second advantage of using Nano Learning is each lesson is short, which leads to high level of attention. This pie chart is the result of the survey that I have done with my pupils, the primary school pupils, on which social media platforms do they prefer when they want to when they want to when they want to learn about English. So most of them had chose TikTok because it's easy to download. It's easy to use. It only use small bytes of small data, and they can also download the videos easily from the platform. Next is it's less overwhelmed. Okay. The lesson only focuses on one or two objectives. In Nano Learning, we don't have lots of objectives. In a video or in a lesson, it only has one or two objectives. Okay, like in this video, I only focus on other ways to describe heavy rain. I only give 3 other ways on how to describe heavy rain. Okay, you can watch it in the video.
Other ways to describe heavy rain. It's raining cats and dogs. For example, you can't go out now. It's raining cats and dogs. It's tipping down. It's tipping down. We can't go for a picnic today. It's tipping down. Bucketing down. Don't forget to wear your raincoat and bring along the umbrella. It's bucketing down out there.
All right. So it is less overwhelmed because it only focuses on just one or two objectives at a time.
Other ways.
All right. Next is Nano Learning. If you use this short bite-sized video, it serves as a good audio visual aid, right? Because in this video, the pupils can see text, pictures, as well as the audio of the correct pronunciation, or you can also incorporate suitable music to accompany the lesson. Okay? For example, in this video, I have put the correct pronunciation of the words, the difference between two words, the meaning, as well as the transcript of the correct pronunciation.
Quick pronunciation practice. Warm, warm. Worm, worm. Warm, worm. Okay?
Okay, even though it's short, but it serves as a good audio-visual aid to teach these two words, the difference of pronunciation and the meaning of these two words. Right.
Quick pronunciation.
Okay, and another advantage of using Nano Learning, and in my case, using short videos, it is flexible and accessible. Okay, the learners can watch the video anywhere at their own time. Okay, my pupils can watch my videos during their own free time. We can also use the videos during hybrid classroom. They also can download it and they can watch it repeatedly as much as they want to. And it is also easy to access. As you can see from this is the screenshot of the views of one of my videos. Okay, as you can see, video views by region. This video is not only viewed by the people in my country, which is Malaysia, but also other countries such as Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Kuwait. Right, next. sixth advantage of using Nano Learning is it's learner-centered. Most of my videos are topic requested by my pupils as well as my followers. As you can see in this video, this person is asking on the correct pronunciation of bread and breath. Okay? Let's play the video.
Quick pronunciation practice. Bread, bread, breath, breath. And I would like to add another word that I usually confused with this word, this one. Breathe, breathe. Okay?
Alright, so learner-centered. The topic is
Quick pronunciation practice.
Requested by my pupils or my followers. And last but not least, it's fun. Okay? Fun. Because by using this app, people can participate in the video. They can record themselves, they can hear themselves speaking, they can practice it as much as they want. So it helps my pupils to build their self-confidence, and they really enjoy making English videos. You can see it in this video by one of my pupils.
Conversation practice, duet this. Oh, hi, how have you been?
Great, thanks. How about you? I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, well, I was out of town, but tell me more about you. Are you still studying at university?
Actually, I graduated earlier this year. I was hired for a position in Sydney. I'm leaving in September.
No way. Well, congratulations. I had no idea. How come Sydney?
Well, I just love it there. I went on a trip with some friends once and fell in love with the city. So I started applying for jobs there.
Isn't that just wonderful? You know, I'm so happy for you, and I would love to visit sometime.
Please do. You would love it there.
I'm sure I would. Hey, I gotta go now, but let's keep in touch.
Absolutely. You've got my number, right?
Yep.
Alright then. See ya.
See ya.
Alright, so this is a duet video created by one of my pupils. Actually, this is a PDP art task that I asked my pupils to do, that they can choose any duet videos and duet it and send it to me. So they can these videos help them to to improve their intonation as well as pronunciation and confidence in using English. That's all for that I want to share, the 7 advantages, and I really hope you can take you will use it in your daily
Conversation.
Sorry. So, all right. So as a conclusion for Nano Learning, teachers, please make full use of it as a great aid in your lessons. Your pupils will love it because it's fun and it's interactive. And for the learners out there are so many educational videos. So choose wisely and grab the opportunities of learning anywhere and in any time that you can. Okay. So before I end my sharing, let's look at these quotes by let's look at the quote by B.B. King. Okay, the beautiful thing about learning is that nobody can take it from you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Cikgu Haja. Wow, I thought there would either be 2 or 3 advantages, but 7 advantages of using Nano Learning. Wow, that really blew my mind. Thank you for your sharing once again, Cikgu. Next, we will move on to the Q&A session.
Yeah.
Nano learning is a concept for most of us, it's a new concept for most of us, including myself. I'm not sure if nano learning is the same as micro learning. I mean, is there a difference between nano learning and micro learning? What do you think, Dr. Nidhi?
Actually, when someone heard about the concept of nano learning, they say micro learning and nano learning are the same thing. And for a beginner also, micro learning and nano learning are the same thing. But when we talk about the nano learning, I take one example that is very simple example from your real life. We just see a pizza. That means 8 pieces of pizza, 8 slices of pizza. That whole pizza is your syllabus. But when I take one slice from that, that is your micro learning. But on that slice, one slice, we have tomatoes, we have mushrooms, we have broccoli, we have onion. That one thing is your nano learning. That means if you're talking about micro learning, that is one slice of pizza. And when we are talking about nano learning, that is the ingredients, one separate ingredient is your nano learning. So when I'm talking about the micro concept, that is small nuggets. And small, I'm talking about the small word. And when we are talking about the nano learning, is the tiny particles. That means that small nugget is the one slice of pizza. And when we are talking about the tiny particles, that means on that one particular slice of pizza, we have onion. That onion, if we are studying that onion only, that is nano learning. If we are studying about only mushroom, that is your nano learning. So when we are talking about the micro learning, it deals with only one specific objective, we can say that. But when we are talking about nano learning, it's dealing with the teaching skills included in one specific objective. This is the thing. Or we can say that for the nano learning, the ideal time, we have extended that up to 15 minutes, but the ideal time for nano learning is 5 minutes. And when we talked about the micro learning, the time period is from 15 to 20 minutes. So just see this one, that in nano learning, we are up to 15 minutes, but in micro learning, we are from 15 to 20 minutes. That means time frame is more in case of micro learning, and in nano learning, it's not. So due to this time frame also, when we are taking nano learning as my technique to just teach the learner, the retention power is more. Reason being, the time frame is less. That means a student needs less attention span. That's why there is a better retention in terms of nano learning comparative to micro learning. So these are basic difference between the micro learning and nano learning. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Nidhi. Your explanation was very clear. I especially liked it when you used the pizza as an example. Yes, once again, to recap what you have said. So micro learning, we use about 15 to 20 minutes and it covers one objective, but we can use various different skills, right?
Yeah.
While for nano learning, we use one skill and one objective for maximum 15 minutes. So that was wonderful, Dr. Nidhi. I feel like I've learned a lot through this webinar. Thank you. Thank you. The second question for the Q&A session is, what were the challenges that you faced when you were creating the videos and how did you overcome them? Since both Cikgu Azman and Cikgu Hajar have used different platforms and strategies or approaches, I think it would be interesting to hear from you both. Thus, I would like to invite Cikgu Azman first to share his experience, his challenges, and how he overcome them, and then followed by Cikgu Hajar. Cikgu Azman, over to you.
All right. Thank you, Miss. I would like to quote two challenges. Number one is my inability to edit videos because I am not very good in editing videos. So when I watch other people producing videos, I also wanted to produce videos of my own. I tried to edit videos, but I am not very good. And I wanted to find a way in order to capitalize on this advancement in technology of producing videos. So because of that problem, I came up with the idea that why didn't I use Instagram because Instagram allows me or allowed me to use the various filters and backgrounds. So I solved that problem by using Instagram. And another problem that is worth mentioning is the fact that when I was teaching my students, I did realize that I am living in quite a semi-urban, quite rural area. So not many students were able to speak in English. So because of these challenges, I needed to identify what were among the root causes for this situation. So when I interviewed them, I discovered that they were too shy, number one. Number two, they would not be able to enjoy presenting when the script was too long. So because of that, I discovered that by allowing them to do short videos like this, I was able to solve the problems by using short videos because they were not burdened with having to memorize long scripts and being in front of the camera for too long. So those were the challenges, and the solutions that I discovered was by doing nano videos on Instagram. So as a result, I was able to motivate them, and I was able to produce so many nano videos with my students.
Thank you so much, Ego. Wow. Yeah, I'm learning new things. I'm sure the viewers out there are also learning new things as well from you. All right, now I think we will move on to Cikgu Aja. Cikgu, what were the challenges that you had experienced? I mean, you would use different platforms, right? TikTok, Instagram, and Telegram. So what were the challenges that you faced and how did you overcome them? Over to you.
Okay, so I'm going to share the challenges from a teacher's point of view. For me, there are two challenges. The first one is my personality. Actually, I'm not a camera person. I'm quite shy to show myself. So at first, it's quite a challenge for me to record myself and share the videos to others. And I'm also afraid that people are, especially the netizen, would judge me as a lousy teacher. But by and by, with practice and a lot of supports from my family, my friends, as well as followers, I managed to overcome it and be more confident in creating the videos. And the second challenge for me is time constraint. Okay? I'm not a full-time content creator. I'm a teacher, a wife, and a mother. So I have a lot of responsibilities to juggle on. So therefore, it's quite a challenge for me to find time to consistently make and post videos. But because these videos, I use it to incorporate it into my lesson. So I will find time to make the video, especially I will find time to make videos, especially when it is related to the topic that I will teach in the class. Okay, that's all.
Thank you so much for sharing, Cikgu. Wow. So you are a teacher, a mother, and also a wife. Yeah, that's not easy. I'm sure the viewers out there who are considering whether I should try nano learning in my teaching or not, I think you are a good example and a motivation for them. The next question is, what are your suggestions or advice to educators out there who wish to use nano learning in the lesson but are not confident in their ICT skill? So like just now you said you wanted to do record videos and so on, but you were not confident in your editing skills, so you decided to use IG. So, but there are also teachers who feel like, okay, I'm not really good with my ICT skills. So what are your suggestions or advice to these educators out there, Cikgu Azman?
All right. We are blessed with so many platforms nowadays. Let's not limit ourselves to just Instagram. to just TikTok, to just YouTube. We have multiple other platforms, like we can use Twitter, we can use Facebook, we can use Pinterest, and so on and so forth. So if you are facing a problem with a certain platform, look further, look for other platforms, look for other applications which may be suitable for you. I found my solution in Instagram because of the short videos, because of the filters, because of the various backgrounds, because of the sustainability, accessibility, and so on and so forth. Because each platform, each application has their own strength and weaknesses. Try to find your solutions by looking at each platform's strength and not look at your weaknesses. Start with looking at the strengths of each platform, then look for the solution which are applicable to your situation. And I think that should be the advice I would like to share. Do not give up, explore, and ask around, because we have choices. That's the main thing. We have choices, a lot of choices.
Yes, we have a lot of choices, and look at your strengths. Yeah, don't just look at your weaknesses, but look at your strengths as well. That's a very good advice, Cikgu Azman. So thank you, Cikgu Azman. Now over to Cikgu Haja. Cikgu Haja, what are your suggestions and advice for those who are keen to use Nano Learning but are a bit less confident in it?
Okay, my advice is, as teachers, we have to keep on learning. Nowadays, we can learn from many sources, and it's easy because most things are on your fingertips, right? Just forget that you don't have to be shy because you're a teacher. You have to learn something new. You don't have to be embarrassed about it. You don't have to feel embarrassed about it. Take it as a challenge, and we must set a good example to our students that learning. We have to learn as long as we live. Okay, so be confident, and just if you need help in ICT skills, go and you can find it the videos from the YouTube, how to record a video, how to use TikTok, how to use YouTube, how to use Instagram, or you can ask your colleagues or your children. Okay, children nowadays are very advanced in ICT skills, so just ask for their help. I'm sure they will be very happy to help. That's all.
Thank you so much again for your sharing, Cikgu Haja. So, we have heard from Dr. Nidhi, Cikgu Azman, and also Cikgu Haja. I hope that the viewers who are watching this webinar would be more motivated now and confident to apply Nano Learning in their lesson, in your teaching and learning. Before we end, I would like to inform you that there is a link share in the description box below this video. Kindly click on the link, which will lead you to the open learning platform where you can obtain a certificate by answering a short quiz based on this webinar. That's the end of our webinar for today. Once again, I would like to express my utmost gratitude to our three wonderful panelists, Dr. Nidhi, Cikgu Azman, and Cikgu Haja, for sharing their valuable knowledge with all of us. Also, I would like to thank all viewers for attending this webinar. Thank you.